Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirby Planet Robobot. In this part, gambling.
Yay!
Huzzah.
Kirby, no, don't go in there, you're not old enough.
Kirby's not as innocent as you think.
Didn't raise the age rating, which is pretty impressive.
No. Kirby's one of those that just goes in for the complimentary beverages.
If you play this level in Europe, it's replaced with Voltorb Flip.
Son of a bitch.
Stupid.
I'm still salty about Europe getting rid of the frickin' game corner for that. And it's not that Voltorb Flip on its own is a bad minigame. The reason why I'm salty about it is because you now have no way to buy game corner coins. And it's been proven that it is faster to fight the Elite Four with an amulet coin than it is to actually try to play the slots in the game corner. As opposed to, even if you go on the lucky, what is it called? Slot machine. So yes, you were better off just buying your coins if you wanted the Dratini or whatever they had in there. TM's probably Porygon. I don't know.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is Billiards in any way related to a casino?
I'm sure that some
kinda.
casinos have a billiards table.
It can be competitive and people bet on it. I don't know about casinos, but people bet on billiards.
I've never seen a casino with billiards in it. This is such a weird combination for me.
I think it's because colorful balls.
Yeah, like it has
colorful
a
casino
similar
setting.
kind of look to it to roulette, I guess.
Well, like when I see a billiards table, my mental association is like some kind of bar.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the
bars.
idea, though, is that, like, you know, shady, flashy kind of bars and casino kind of.
That's the thing.
Maybe they'll save the bar aesthetic for the next one.
Casinos are very bright and colorful, flashy, gaudy even. Whereas the kind of bars I associate with billiards are the more subdued and quiet looking. It's
Maybe the next Kirby game will have a nice gritty bar area. Like you just go deep in an alleyway and just find a really dirty bar, and then the billiard table
No,
will show up again.
he sucks up Nico Bellic and gets like a
Let's go. Kirby, let's go
not
bowling.
necessarily gritty, but more like warm toned, I guess. No, that's not the right way.
The boss is a
That's
used
not
ashtray.
the right way to describe color.
Oh, Kirby with the smoke ability.
More
Sick.
relaxing visually, I suppose. People are like.
Well, you see, I always
assumed
associated billiards in a bar with kind of like a rough and tumble kind of place. That's at least in popular culture.
I don't know.
Go to bars.
I don't know about
in
rough
real
and
life.
tumble. Maybe
that's a good name. That's a good name. We got Kirby Tilt and Tumble.
But his inhale is hampered.
Like the place might have like old rock posters and stuff on it up as decorations, maybe. But the point is that casinos are gaudy and bright and intentionally visually exciting, whereas bars tend to have more of a let's kick back with our drinks and bad French fries.
It's very subdued.
Casinos,
Some mood lighting.
Casinos also do not have clocks in there or windows because they don't want you to realize how much time you're spending there.
Yeah, don't go to casinos. It is a waste of time and money.
Potentially money.
But
yeah.
Kirby has a
Again,
lot of money because remember he does his taxes.
Oh yeah, Kirby's
true.
a good boy.
So
That was January 1st.
January. Yeah, he always just wants to make sure.
Oh, so he's Ned Flanders.
He must
he's Ned Flanders.
the only situation in which I can see someone doing their taxes January 1st is if they straight up don't have a job and have no income to report.
Kirby does not have a job or income to report
because
so.
you're not getting your W-2 that quickly. I'm sorry.
Kirby does his taxes in crayon, and hands them to King Dedede, and he's like, Kirby, what? Although,
I mean, yeah. So remember the lore.
I mean,
Kirby Fighters 2.
there's also-
Kirby doesn't know how to read.
There's also no point in
that's
doing your
part of the
taxes
lore
that
now.
early because, it's not until mid-February that you can file them with the federal government, and your state's probably even slower.
you see, the ironic thing is that Kirby's the only person who files his taxes for King Dedede, but he doesn't pay King Dedede at all because he doesn't have any money. Everybody else just kind of pretends King Dedede isn't there. Which was my favorite thing about the Kirby anime, was just that nobody gave a crap about anything King Dedede was doing at all.
Well, in the Kirby anime, King Dedede was straight up the villain, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's weird. He's pretty much the main character, if you think about it. Most of the episodes revolve around him. He's the one driving the plot, and Kirby's just kind of sitting around doing nothing, really.
I mean, there's the one slave labor episode of
where the Waddle Dees
anime.
get a union.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, in the anime, King Dedede is much more outright villainous. They basically dropped King Dedede being a bad guy by like
The
2002 in the games itself. Like,
No, they basically stopped after the first game.
well, he's still a dick.
I think 64 was the first time he was like truly a friend. Like they broke down the barrier.
That's what I thought as well. Like in the other ones, it's just like, oh, he's just being an asshole, but he's not like evil. It's kind of more like a Wario Mario thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just odd, and then he's just oddly moody at times when he has a plan.
Well, that was
Yeah.
easy.
Oh yeah, because the Robobot is OP as shit.
A cosmic cube.
Those things are basically like the Sunstones from Kirby
Yeah.
Triple Deluxe, so you need a certain amount of them in order to open the doors, but I've never really... I feel like the game throws enough of them right in front of you that you would have to purposefully ignore a lot of them in order to not be able to fight the boss by the end of the world.
Let me ask, Ted, you played this, right?
Yeah, I recorded this.
Is this a 100% run with all of the stickers?
It is all code cubes. I tried to get as many of the rare stickers as I could. I missed a couple.
Yeah, so that's the unlockable. Same here. I got like 94% through the game, and I couldn't be bothered trying to find the other stickers.
So one thing I do like about this game over Triple Deluxe is that if you go into the sticker menu, it will say what level the hidden rare stickers are missing in. It's just like, oh, you missed the rare sticker in 2-4 or whatever.
But those are actually hidden, unlike like the code cubes that are just sort of thrown in your path.
Yeah, in Kirby Triple Deluxe, some of the rare keychains, there is also one rare keychain hidden in every level. But if you miss one, you just don't know what level you missed it in. So it can be somewhat annoying having to climb
I have
through
a
all the
question
levels.
about that. Is it like specific stickers in specific places?
For the rare ones,
For some of
yes.
them, yeah.
Okay.
Most of them are just randomly, but then yeah, there's like one in every level, I guess, that is specific.
Yeah. So in this game, they're gold stickers. Whenever we see a gold sticker, that gold sticker is always in that specific level. If you see a blue sticker, it's one of a random bunch.
Okay, I get it.
It's weird because like the game
kinda
doesn't
like
even really
collecting
tell you
puzzle
that,
pieces in StreetPass.
and the designs aren't even all that special either. It's just like another design, but this one was harder to find.
Well, the designs are cool because you can put them on the Robobot arms.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about a sticker on the gold rather than a sticker on a normal.
just
It's like
kinda-
it's not like a big boss.
It just kind of slightly bugs me when a game uses the term rare when the mechanic doesn't have randomization as part of it. So,
You know, it's a. I guess they're just trying to say that it's special. I guess, but special, I don't know. It just doesn't sound as cool as rare because you need your
Also,
ultra rare holofoil Charizard or whatever.
Also, yay, Kirby 64 remix.
No, this is just the straight up track from Kirby.
yeah,
this is-
above
this is
above the
from the
clouds from 64.
Yeah, which is
All
a
of the,
remix of Butter Building from Kirby's Adventure.
That is.
Yeah.
All of the EX levels use tracks from older games. I think the last one we did had Canvas Curse music, I think.
I
But
think
they're in here
that's
somewhere.
I think that's a thing they've been doing since Return to Dreamland. Where bonus stuff it particularly uses remixes.
Triple Deluxe used all Return to Dreamland music in its extra stages. I don't remember what they did in Return to Dreamland. I don't play that one very much. Not that it's a bad game, it's just whenever I'm going back to these modern Kirby games, I'll do Triple Deluxe first, then Robobot. And, well, I don't ever really have much reason to go back to Star Allies now that I've done, I think, almost all of the guest star modes. I don't really have much of a reason to go back and play that one anymore.
so question: the
Yeah.
shutters, the metal shutter doors, are those only openable with the robot?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Yeah, they're basically, but in most situations, I think this area, you need to have the robot with you, so it doesn't really matter. But there's only a few sections in the main game where you see one and you're like, oh, there's a robot hidden nearby. I need to look for it in order to find all of the different code cubes or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I always thought the Butter Building remix in 64 was a scrap the Dreamland 3 track because the instrumentation is very, very Super Nintendo.
It's very, like, trumpety, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see how you could trap yourself in this one if you knocked both of those down and didn't push one of them into the alcove, that could be bad.
But it's if you go back out and go back in, it restarts itself.
Yeah,
so
you can. You could tell that I was standing there staring at it to make sure that I didn't do it the wrong way.
Yeah, you just fax machine noises going through Ted's head.
dial up noise.
Yeah, it's definitely using my modem there in order to work my 5 brain cells and figure out the solution. I don't know this game as well as Triple Deluxe, as I said, because I don't go back to this one as much. And again, I think it's not that I think this game is bad. It's still amazing. It's more just, we were talking about this in another playthrough we did not too long ago. When 2 games are very similar, even if I like both, I will only ever really play the one I like best, because if I'm in the mood for that style of game, I only want to play the one I like best, even if I think the other one is only worse by the tiniest bit.
I mean, it's the classic mentality of there's no reason to go back to this other game if you think this one is just better in almost every
It's just, I always, maybe this is me being self-conscious for no reason. I always feel like I'm the weirdo because I look at like Mega Man fans and the eternal, is Mega Man 2 better than Mega Man 3 argument. I feel like those people play both games, maybe not equally as much, but a fair, more similarly amount than I play Robobot versus Triple Deluxe, you know, where I will sometimes feel like I only exclusively play Triple Deluxe and only...
I honestly feel like I'm in a similar boat, but I would play these games a lot more if they were on home console. Probably because I just don't feel myself playing my 3DS like at all anymore. But if they were both on the Switch, like if Return as well, if all 3 of them were in like a pack or whatever, I'd probably play them.
Well, I was
a lot more often.
So I was addicted to my 3DS in the mid 2000s. I played my 3DS.
2000s.
2000s. God, the 90s were not 10 years ago. The 90s were 30 years ago. But yeah, in the 2010s, I played pretty much exclusively my DS, and in the 2000s, I played my regular DS a lot too. I love the DS.
3DS turns 10 years old this year.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite consoles of all time, and it's true that I don't really play it a lot now because the Switch is out, but just generally speaking, I think I enjoy handhelds definitely more than Lewis. I think probably more than John, I would say. And maybe that's just because
it depends on what I'm playing.
Yeah, because like I grew up with handhelds. I played Pokemon was my first game, and I played my Game Boy non-stop growing up. So I guess handhelds are where I'm comfiest. I don't know.
I think it just matters on where the good games are. In the 3DS tend to have just a ton of games. But if the option was there to play it on console, I would opt for that.
Console. Yeah, that's where I kind of fall in line with that too.
Unless if the console option you had was the Wii U, in which case...
Well, like...
I don't know, it's really weird because I have been neglecting my 3DS big time since the Switch came out, but it's not as if I use the Switch as a handheld.
I use my Switch as a handheld.
I don't.
I do very rarely. But the fact that the option is there makes me more keen to play the Switch.
I think it's because I still have my original Joy-Cons from 2017.
Oh, do you have
and
the
it's a part of
drift?
me that doesn't want to. No, I don't want to risk it, so I don't know. So I use as a console and I use Pro Controller.
Listen, that's fair. My right Joy-Con, the SR and SL buttons, whatever they're called, don't work anymore.
The only thing that I use my Switch's handheld mode for is system updates. Like, every so often I'll take my thing off the dock and be like, hey, is the system like ready to update, or any of my games ready to update?
I do that too because my HDMI ports are connected to another console. I don't feel like switching cables, so I'll just take it out of the dock, check the eShop, see if there's anything I can buy.
Yeah,
and put it back in there.
Like, even for me, the handheld mode is amazing for that sort of convenience, even if I don't use it to actually play the games.
So what you need to do is you need to detach your Joy-Cons and then put it into handheld mode on a table and play with the Pro Controller, like you're with your millennial friends in your rooftop parties.
Well, you know, if I were ever out and about, I probably would do that, but like,
well, I mean,
never out and
not
about,
these
so.
days, but you know.
I mean,
I got a 6-foot patio.
I mean, for convention season, I'd probably bring my Switch along and do exactly that thing in the hotel room, but ever since.
John, remember when we played Shovel Knight that one time?
Yeah. Oh, God.
We couldn't get the TV going, so we just played Shovel Knight co-op on a very small screen.
In fact, I think the only reason I haven't done that yet is because since I bought my Switch, I haven't actually gone to a convention. Like, I missed that 1 year, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And we probably won't get to do conventions until next year at the rate things are going.
Yeah.
I've already come to accept that. So.
Yeah, but you were talking about bringing your Switch to a convention. That's actually one thing I miss about that is StreetPass. Like, I don't know how many people are doing StreetPass at conventions, but that's how I...
Emil is.
Oh, of course he is, because he's addicted. But, like, StreetPass was one of the legitimate best features on the 3DS, and it makes me really upset that there's no, like, similar option on the Switch. Because I had to have put 200 hours. I think it's
because they were worried about people bringing Switches out because they were not as sturdy. And all these years later, it's fair complaint that the Switch is not super sturdy. But I think they were just afraid of people bringing the Switch everywhere and it breaking because it's not secure.
I know. It's just when I was at cons, like whenever I was waiting for a panel to start or I'm sitting down to take a break, I have my DS out and you see that flashing green light. It's like, oh yeah, all the puzzle pieces, give them to me.
Yeah.
Gonna catch all the fish. Oh man. Like, really, if they were to make the Switch 2 StreetPass and adding that back would be like my #1 requested feature. And I guess also folders, add folders. That would be nice.
Folders need to come first.
We're almost 4 years in and we still don't have folders.
I am so cynical about StreetPass as a concept because it's like, hey, we're gonna have this social aspect to our gaming device that doesn't require social interaction whatsoever.
Well, it was just neat to see where everybody was from and what their meme was, what they were playing.
What is it doing? It's adding functions into games that penalize you for being in an area where there are less 3DS players.
Well, it's not punishing you.
Well, not penalizing you, because I mean, like a Triple Deluxe had
you get advantages
support where it just give you little items
you don't get otherwise.
Yeah. Well,
which means you don't get those advantages if there aren't 3DS players near you.
But the 3DS was so popular that the chances of running into someone with one was pretty common.
Fuck you if you live in a rural town, I guess.
I think that's what they were banking on. And I feel that has more merit nowadays when the 3DS's life cycle is pretty much over.
Here's the thing. Sure. The 3DS was partially inspired by Dragon Quest IX in Japan. Because since it was a Dragon Quest game and
Nintendogs was the first game to do that.
Oh, okay, sorry, Nintendogs. Excuse me.
Dragon Quest didn't do everything, Ted.
It did.
If you live out in the country, it doesn't matter how new or old the 3DS is. You're not getting much.
No, but here's the point. The point I'm making is that back when Dragon Quest IX was a big thing, there was a lot of content that you had to do its proto StreetPass stuff in order to get. And that content is now lost because the online servers are also down. I think there might be some fan stuff, but I think that for some fans, what you had to do is like physically mail them your cartridge so that they could like wireless connect in order to get you the content. There wasn't really that kind of stuff in 3DS. It's all just like little bonuses, like you get a pet brew instead of a cherry for Kirby. It's like it's not that big of a deal. It's like not even anywhere close to something like a microtransaction or whatever, which is where a lot of these sort of like little tiny bonuses would come in many other console games.
Well, I know one game that kind of suffers is Bravely Default.
Oh yeah,
Bravely
Default.
Default. Substantially easier with StreetPass.
Oh, the town building mode in Bravely Default was so good, and it's like one of the best parts of the game, and it's basically non-functional now that there's no StreetPass.
Right. That reminds me of White Knight Chronicles.
Yeah. Bravely Default 2 comes out in like 4 days, and I do not give...
At the time of this recording.
I do not even give like the smallest bit of a crap, which is sad.
The game does not look interesting at all, and it's like, okay, now you're on a home console, could you try to up the production values a bit more? It's like, no, voice acting is still really terrible and stuff like that. It's like, okay, Square.
I like PS1 style voice acting, but that's just me.
It does look a bit basic. Like, I played the demo, and my thought is, wow, this feels a bit like playing World of Final Fantasy, which is probably not the comparison that you want me to make for a big-name franchise.
I'm also just annoyed that it's the third game in the series, and they numbered it 2.
Welcome, says the Kingdom Hearts fan.
Like, why did they do that? It's Bravely Default, then there's Bravely Second. What's the difference between
Bravely Second is a specific direct sequel to the first game, and then Default 2 is a different timeline, different set of characters. Same way Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, then 12.
Oh.
It's just Square Enix numbering being stupid.
Square Enix can't title a game. If they have to give a game a normal title, somebody like starts to have a seizure in the building, and they can't have that anymore. So it has to be Melody of 2.7 over 5 days, Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition S. Ends with
Starring Dante.
EX
Starring
Alpha.
Dante.
We'll see you next time.